Sword Art Online Daydream DLC3 release date has been finally announced. Art Online Unital King Gameverse spin-off story featuring Fatal Bullet Protagonist is starting its publishing. We are having a Unital King collaboration event in Sword Art Online Integral Factor and Variant Showdown as well, with a new key visual that is absolutely beautiful. Welcome SAO survivors, and here's a brief recap from the Thank You for 2024 SAO Games special event. It's been a while since I've done a normal video like this, but if you want the faster news, please do follow me on Twitter. I'm like 50 followers away from 10k and I want to achieve that before I leave, so I would love it if you actually help. Thank you very much. My Twitter link is gonna be down below in the description. You'll get faster news and even the minute news that I don't find worthwhile covering here on my channel. Without further ado, Sword Art Online Daydream DLC3 has finally received its official release date, as we expected, about where it should land. Moonlit Night Fragment featuring Sachi from the SAO main series and Philia from SAO Hollow Fragment will be arriving in SAOFD on April 23 or 24 depending on your time zone. In line with previous DLCs, Sachi and Philia will also be arriving on the third week of the new season, arriving with a roughly 1.5 hour story expected, new costumes and weapons, and hopefully at least a new dungeon and a new boss without adding to the existing playlists. We already have way too many, stretching the player base way too thin. However, keep in mind that if we stick to the previous season schedules, the third week will also feature a new EX boss raid, so you're recommended to at least complete your player rank grind in the first 2 weeks of the season. We currently don't know whether we'll get another free playable character either with the season launch, as Fuka in season 2 was quite the late surprise reveal as well. Sachi has been confirmed as a support character and will appear with some memory loss, though it's not exactly clarified whether that only amounts to not remembering that she died in Aincrad, much like other characters who had the same memory holes of their final moments like Yuji and Yuki. She'll have a continuous healing area effect requiring you to hold it down in place while holding the button. Kind of a risk and reward based healing from what I'm interpreting from minimal description here, which does sound great. She can also decrease skill cooldowns to support you in offensive actions, not just a healer. Philia, on the other hand, has been confirmed as a rogue. It appears she'll be our catalyst in chasing the memory data for Neige in the form of a treasure of sorts, as expected of Philia. If you remember, these DLCs, they do actually take place between the ending of the base game and the epilogue scene where we revived Neige, and we found the first data fragment in Stray's DLC, while P2NM DLC just did its own thing. But as a playable character, as expected of a rogue, Philia is fast, agile, and burst damage oriented as a character. Her ability is quite unique though. She can eat up a mod, the bonus abilities dropping from chests you need to pick up, to increase her stats permanently. That's quite a great prospect. It's not mentioned if it stacks, so if you can consume all the mods you come across for multiple stat buffs, but even in the worst case scenario of them not being stackable, you can just eat up a mod that's useless for you, like flight gauge recovery speed because Philia won't be flying for example, and still get some benefit from it. Sadly, they have shown absolutely no gameplay previews at all, quite disappointing if you ask me, since we're less than a month away from release with 2 characters incoming this time around, so we'll have to wait a bit longer to see how they actually play. And I have to wait a bit longer to make my videos about them due to the lack of visual material I can use. Sword Art Online Unital King, the Gameverse spin-off Unital Ring side story written by Kawahara Reki himself, featuring the Fatal Bullet pizza delivery guy, which was announced almost a year ago at this point, has started its publishing. It is free to read on Beater's Cafe with chapters 1 and 2 published at the moment. However, it's all in Japanese sadly. If there's enough interest from you, I may skim over it and make a summary, so make sure to spam your love for the wet blanket OCMC. The more you annoy me with the blank character love, the less memes I will use at the expense of the fake Kirito when summarizing the story and try to be neutral instead. It's really gonna be hard, so you better spam those comments. What speaks to me more, however, is the Unital King collab events to be featured in Integral Factor and Variant Showdown. We don't know anything yet, but the key visual featuring Kirito, Asuna, Layla, and Koharu looks incredibly cool, so I am absolutely looking forward to that one. Sword Online Games Characters 2025 birthday illustrations have been teased with their silhouettes, and remember, we are starting the 2025 cycle on March 31st with Philia's birthday, followed by Itsuki on April 1st, so look forward to all of them incoming. But until then, here's a challenge for you all. Can you identify all the characters correctly based on their silhouettes? I'll number them from left to right, top line first, bottom line second, so write down your guesses down in the comments for every single one of them. But that was all the news. I did not expect much from a stream that aimed to thank the fans for the past year in terms of a news source. This is how they usually go. We're just happy whatever we can get in terms of news. It was more fun stuff with the Layla and Kohoru's voice actors alongside Reki Kawahara, which sadly none of us in the West can really partake in. If I ever get a role in Bandai Namco, I promise you all equality. While I understand it's not all that feasible to have all random SAO lives available in English, the least we can hope for is a subtitled version published for global fans eventually. Either way, thank you very much for watching. Remember, just 50 more followers on Twitter for 10k and I need your help. But until next time, stay cool.